If someone is here, let me know because I can see people right now. And if not, I'm gonna start. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna start. Mhm. Okay, so it seems like I'm gonna start now. Um, Hello everybody. I'm Tom. Um, I'm a Heyoka empath. Uh, also, something happened to my chair. Um, where was I? I'm a Heyoka empath, a spiritual guide, intuitive healer, and an energetic healer. I'm also a seer and a channeler, and I'm also on the twin flame journey. For those of you that can identify with that subject, um, today I wanted to talk about um, a topic that is very important for those of us who get spiritually awakening at the moment. And like many of us are going through a spiritual awakening at the moment. Maybe it's a second one, or or it's your first spiritual awakening. And during the process of being spiritually awakening, uh, one of the phases of the process is the dark night of the soul, which is a very painful, very hard to navigate through uh, phase of the process, but it's also a very necessary uh, part of the process. Um, some people can have multiple dark night of the soul on their journey. Uh, if you know that you are spiritually awakening, that's a benefit because you know that it's a part of the process. But a lot of people, they don't know that they are spiritually awakening when it's happening to them, and that can be very confusing, very disorienting. You don't understand what's going on with you. It's a I can say for myself, growing up as a Heyoka empath, not knowing that I'm a Heyoka empath, I had like, I think, three dark nights of the soul before I was 30. But I didn't know that it's a spiritual process, or I didn't know to give it a name, or I thought I'm losing my mind. Okay, a lot of the times it brings you to very low places. Okay, in my case, suicide attempts. It brings you. It's an existential crisis. You're going through a ah, I lost the word, and my chair keeps going down. Um, existential crisis. You 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 lose part of yourself all of a sudden, uh, and you don't know why. It feels like you're dying, which in a sense you are. Okay. Uh, what do I mean by that? First of all, we need to understand what the dark night of the soul, what it is. Okay. Uh, the dark night of the soul. It's a process. It's a phase on your spiritual awakening journey, where you are basically your soul initiates the process. Okay, your soul initiates the process, and all of a sudden something starts happening to you. Uh, people call it the dark night of the soul or ego death. Okay, ego death is more appropriate than dark night of the soul. Why? Because what's the part of you that's going through the crisis is your ego dying. Okay, it's your ego dying. uh your soul is perfectly perfect. Okay, your soul only wants the best for you. Okay, only wants the best for you. Your soul wants you to be happy. Your soul wants you to be fulfilled. Okay, in your life, your soul wants you to be calm, to be abundant. Okay, uh, your soul wants you to experience the higher version, the best version of yourself. At the end of it's not the end of the road, because we keep learning all the time. But for us, let's say that we are, for the people in this group, um, I lost my train of thought. For the people in this group, um, I lost my train of thought. Maybe it will come back to me. Uh, where was I? So your spirit initiates. Oh, I remember. So your spirit initiates the process, and now the dark night of the soul starts. So for some people, it starts after something like a Kundalini awakening. Sometimes it happens before the dark night of the soul, or the dark night of the soul just starts. Okay. When I was young, I didn't experience a Kundalini awakening, but I experienced a few. Now I can look back and say that it was a dark night of the soul. I had like three, and they just started to happen. Sorry, my dogs are starting to do stupid things again. I can't believe. Only when I'm doing this, they start eating cardboard behind me. For the rest of the week, it's okay. Um, give me a second, okay? Sorry about that. Uh, now I really need to remember where I was. Um, I wish somebody could remind me, but So the dark night of the soul starts. Okay, the dark night of the soul starts, and all of a sudden you find yourself going through these experiences. Okay, what experiences can you expect? How can you know that you're going through the dark night of the soul? Uh, all of a sudden you lose interest in life. Like life become meaningless for some reason. Life become meaningless. You wake up morning after morning after morning, and it's like, what am I doing here? Uh, things that used to give you uh, joy, things that used to make you happy, uh, all of a sudden they don't. 1:44 on the time. Um, you lose interest in things that you used to love to do. Okay, for me, for example, each and every time uh, when I went through the dark night of the soul, something that I used to love, all of a sudden I don't care about it. I used to love movies. I used to sit and watch movies for hours when I was young. Hours, movie after movie after movie after movie. Uh, After the dark night of the soul, all of a sudden lost interest in movies or TV or whatever. I used to smoke. Dark night of the soul, smoking went away. No, actually, I used to being an empath in Tel Aviv, Israel, during my 20s. Uh, Being a heyoka, feeling the energies around me, Tel Aviv in the early 2000s. Uh, it was hard. So I turned into drugs and alcohol just to function in the world, to calm it down or to numb it. Um, so at some point, dark night of the soul, the alcohol disappeared from my life. Like one day I was drinking every night, dark night of the soul. I can drink beer these days. Like it just happened like that. I can I can't stand the taste of alcohol. So at one time it was that. Then it was cigarettes. Then all the things that's not supposed to be in your life. Okay, at that moment. Um, so you lose interest in things that you like to do. Also, we said where you have no energy, you have no motivation to do nothing. Everything becomes like, nah, no taste, no smell. Like everything is like you lose your identity. Okay, now I'm talking about for those of you who know me, I after I met my twin flame, I my spiritual journey took a major I don't know if it's a twist or we started dashing forward spiritually in ways that it's hard for me to explain. Uh, but in order to get here, so far, two dark nights of the soul, and these two, they were the worst. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about them mostly. Um, you are actually, I was losing my identity. Everything that I could say about myself that defined me, okay? Everything that I could say about myself, like my ego self, okay? I'm Tom, I'm a musician, I'm a drummer, I'm a, later on in life, I'm a dog trainer, I'm a business owner. Uh, Whatever it is that your ego thinks that you are, okay? And what do I mean? Things that you think that you are. Your ego is the logic mind, okay? The logic mind, the thinking mind, okay? The part of you that has to explain things, the part of you that is suspicious, afraid, carries lots of trauma and memories from the past, okay, or is afraid from the future. The ego always lives either in the past or in the future, never in the moment, never in the now. Okay, our soul lives in the now, not in the future and not in the past. In the now, when you are living in the now, you are living from soul. Okay, where when you are living out of ego, it you living either thinking about the past or thinking about the future. Okay, um, so all of a sudden, all these things that I could define myself, they feel meaningless. Like all of a sudden, I don't care about dog training. I don't care about my own business that I built for years. After meeting my twin flame, after having my Kundalini awakening, my second Kundalini awakening, okay, because one happened in 2020, but after meeting my twin flame in 2023, I experienced another spontaneous Kundalini awakening. For 5 months, I was samadhi. I felt the connection to the universe. I felt the connection to God. I felt the connection to everything: nature, people, animals, the universe, God. I felt the connection to everything. And that was beautiful. And you feel like in a state of bliss, of you're in awe of everything. Um, but then it was followed by the dark night of the soul. I had two since 2023. Um, the dark night of the soul. All of a sudden, I don't care about my business. All of a sudden, I don't care about. All of a sudden, I don't care about money. I have to pay rent. I have to do this and that. All of a sudden, money. What is it? What? Why do I need it? Uh, 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 you can't find peace in nothing. In nothing. You like, you become empty. You become empty. Empty. I used to sit and think, who am I? Like, where am I going? What am I doing? And I couldn't find answers. Like, you can, I couldn't find answers. I asked, who am I? Where am I going? What, what do I need to do now? Like, direction, something. You come to, you get to a point where getting up, making yourself a sandwich becomes a chore. Like, you need to convince yourself to get up and make yourself a sandwich. Um, to go to work, so much convincing that to move, to get up in the morning. You lose interest in everything. Um, things that you used to that I used to do, like not too long ago, recently. All of a sudden, I have no interest in doing it at all. Lucky for me, my love for drumming is still there. I still find some solace in playing the drums. Okay, it's like it's a spiritual thing for me. Okay, uh, so you become an empty vessel. All of a sudden, and that is where your ego starts to to die. Okay, well, what do I mean? You're losing your identity. You're losing parts of yourself. What your thinking mind thought that you are, but the whole time your ego is fighting for its life. It's fighting for its life. That's why you all of a sudden you get into almost a depression state, depression or anxiety, because your ego is like freaking out. It's like, I don't wanna go. I don't wanna die. So you're in this state of, you're empty, but you're anxious, but you're sad, but you're hurt. All of a sudden, a lot of your past traumas come to the surface. Okay, things that happen to you, things that you carry with you for years, and they don't serve any purpose in your life anymore. But for you, it's there. Like, it's stopping you from living your life. So these things come to the surface and you have to deal with them. Okay. Lots of fears, lots of self worth issues, uh, existential issues. Like, what am I doing here? Where am I going? The, all the crap in your life that I compare it all the time to taking the worst things that you don't want to deal with. You put them in a box. You put that box in a vault. Close the vault. Build a room around the vault with no doors. No doors. Walls around the vault, and then you bury the whole thing in the ground. You don't want to see it again. You don't want to deal with it again. Never in your life. Comes the dark night of the soul. You find yourself with a jackhammer excavating the goddamn room, the box with no doors, room with no doors. And you get there and you, with the jackhammer, you take down the wall. You take down the wall, uh, and you get to that vault and you open the vault. Open the vault and you get your box of shit. All the crap in your life that you didn't want to deal with. Trauma. A lot of people that unfortunately went through being how can I say? I don't want to say triggering word. They've been abused, sexually abused, let's say, or abused by their parents, by their uncle, by their I don't know. I went through a few things that honestly I buried so deep that when it came back, I was like, holy shit. I got it out of my consciousness. When it came back, I was like, it really happened. Why did you have to remind me? Okay. All of a sudden, at 44, you have to deal with sexual harassment that you went through in your 20s. So, all the shit from your life comes to the surface. Um, and you have to deal with it because you need to get it out of your system, get it out of your. That part of you is not necessary anymore. So you need to release it. You need to let it go. How do you let it go? You have to feel it. You have to deal with it. Okay? Because you keep ignoring it, it will haunt you forever. Obviously, I thought I dealt with these things. Came back to haunt me at 44. So you have to deal with these things. You lose your life, lose meaning. You don't see a point. Honestly, I had a family, like my ex-wife and my daughter. All of a sudden, I find myself thinking, how come you don't think about your daughter even? You don't think about everything is. And you find yourself in this deep hole in the dark. You don't know how to dig your way out of it. a lot of people call it the void. Okay, the void is a part of the dark night of the soul, where you are like, you are nothing, empty. You and your soul. You and your soul sitting and like, now what? That's your ego asking, now what? Who are you? How do you define yourself? Like, you almost lose connection with your name. Who are you? What are you doing? And you have to, now you have to find a way out. You need to find a new you. Okay? It's like a rebirth. You died, and now you are getting reborn. Okay? I can explain the whole Jesus Christ story. The dark night of the soul is dying on the cross. Okay? Dying on the cross. Because everything, when you wake up, you understand that everything in the scripture, there's some truth in everything. Okay? But most of it is metaphors. It's allegories to convey a point, to give a teaching, to give a knowledge to people, but in a way that they can understand. So you tell them a story. Okay. Me as a yoga empath, I'm talking in allegories most of the time to explain to people. That is why also when I talk about these things, because I can get into spiritual, all spiritual and talking, use spiritual terms and go deep into that state of mind. But I talk to people like, so that they can understand. So it's not vague anymore. You have to let go. You have to this. You have to that. What does it mean? So that's why I'm talking like, I want people to understand. I want people to go through this as as fast as they can, eh, unscathed as they can. Okay, uh, so all of a sudden you have to reinvent yourself. You lost everything in your life. You lost your identity. You lost a lot of the time during that period. Like I said, I lost my business. Some people lose actual people in their life. Okay, if they fall away because they're not necessary anymore in your on your journey, or actually losing a person, like death of someone important. Um, it's shitty to say, but it's all part of the process. Okay, it's all part of the process. Um, so you're going through that, and you are trying to dig yourself out of that void state. Okay, uh, and it can take time. I know that a lot of people in the group. I was talking to people in the comments. A lot of you are in the void right now, trying to understand where I'm going and what I'm gonna do. That's where you are. You start to get aligned with your life's purpose. because your soul slowly, you start to see the light again. Okay. I didn't mention during the whole dark night of the soul thing, you also you feel neglected by God, even by your guides. All of a sudden, if you were you felt connected and you felt uh, uh, in a state of bliss before this, for me at least, before it started, you are connected to your guides and the universe is talking to you. All of a sudden, nobody is talking to you. You beg the universe, you beg God for answers. You try to meditate, you try to calm your mind. Nothing. There's no one on the other side of the line. So it's a very disorienting place to be in. Okay? Well, I'm going to run out of time soon, so I better get to how do we deal with this? So you feel disconnected from the universe even, and you're trying to find answers, and nobody is answering you. And it can be very disorienting. Now, you ask yourself, how long is it gonna take for me to get out of this? You become a vegetable. Nothing is happening in your life. You're like stuck. You're stuck, and you ask yourself, how long is it gonna take for me to get out of this situation, out of this feeling, out of the? I need to do something with my life. Like I'm gonna lose my house. I'm gonna lose my car. I'm gonna lose everything. I don't work. So you ask yourself how long this process will take. And the problem is that nobody knows. It can take a week, it can take a month, it can take years. For some people, they get stuck in the void, and that's it. Years until they find the way out. Okay? For me, this Dark Night of the Soul, the first one, I think from October 2023 until the end of January 2024. So it was a few months of nothing. Nothing but sadness, nothing but darkness. No, 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 nothing. Um, so the length of this process, it's very individual, and it's very where you are on your journey, and how well you learn to deal with these things. Okay. uh so there's no definite answer to that, but there's ways to deal with the situation. Okay. uh it's not easy. It's not easy, and a lot of the time when you talk to spiritual teachers or stuff like that, and they tell you, you need to let go, you need to surrender. Surrender is a very vague word. What does it mean to surrender? um to surrender is to stop fighting the process. What do I mean? You are The ego is clinging for dear life to your old identity. You want to get back to where you are. You want to go back to Tom the dog trainer or Tom the whatever. You want to go back there because it felt safe. It felt so. Surrendering means stop fighting the process. Go along with the process. Okay? Imagine, for those of you that you are parents, we all had this moment where we are with our kids in the mall and the kid wants something and you don't really want to go with his this specific whim of the kid. Okay? uh, and you say no to the kid, and the kid starts freaking out, kicking and screaming 444, 4444 on the timer. Uh, and the kid is kicking and screaming, and he's like, you get to the point when you have to grab him and get out of the mall because it's like the whole mall is looking at your kid going insane. Uh, Imagine the kid is your ego, and you are, I don't know if you're spirit or the end goal of what the kid wanted is the end goal for this allegory. But either way, let's say if the kid were behaving and going along with the plan, okay, maybe at some point he will get whatever he wanted to get. Maybe tomorrow, maybe later, okay? But because the kid is kicking and screaming and he's fighting the whole thing, and it's like he'll never get there, never get the thing that he wants. Okay? So better was to go with the flow, get with the program. Okay? So the more you get with the program of your soul, and you stop resisting what's happening to you, and you accepting, and you say, the universe, I'll do as you will. I'm here on the ride. Take me. Show me what I need to. Stop resisting. Okay. When I resisted the process, honestly, usually we talk about energies and in a metaphorical way. God literally broke my bones when I challenged God during my dark night of the soul. Broke my bones. I broke a rib. I broke a finger. See this one can't really straighten it. Uh, I got bit in the face by a pit bull when I challenged God about keeping my business. No, you're not gonna be a dog trainer anymore. You're going to do something else. You're going to talk spirituality and Christ consciousness and spiritual awakening to people, and you're gonna guide people, and you're gonna help people going through this process. That's what you're gonna do now, and that is where you start understanding your life purpose and where you're going, and what your mission, the highest version of yourself. Okay, uh, so surrender. That's what it means. Stop fighting the process. Understand that your soul put you on this path. You're on this ride. You can scream the whole way there, or you can conform with the process. If you conform with the process, if you surrender, it becomes much easier. You let yourself feel whatever you need to feel. If you can't move, you don't move. If you need to sit on the sofa for a month, sit on the sofa for a month. Show yourself grace, show yourself compassion, show yourself self-love. That's where you start. Self-love is very important. Okay. Also, I found that grounding myself, being outside in nature, helps. Okay. Grounding myself, walking barefoot in nature. Meditating is a must. Meditating is a must. Trying to trying to connect to your to your soul and quiet the ego. Okay? The ego is not going anywhere. It's not gonna die. Okay? But you learn to keep it in check. Your ego all of a sudden conforms to the soul. You become something else. You flowing with life, you flowing with your energy, you flowing with God. Um, so meditating, quieting the thinking mind, very, very, very important. Also, you can use uh, affirmations to calm yourself down if you're feeling that you are in a dark place, if you're feeling that you are losing yourself and you're freaking out, you can literally use affirmations. Everything is all right. We are going to go through this. If God put us on this path, we are strong enough to conquer this, to get out of the other side stronger, better, smarter, with a sense of direction. Okay, so you keep telling yourself that. Okay, you can also, if you see what triggers you, if you know what triggers you, you can literally say, I choose to release this and that, whatever is pulling you down. I choose to release. I stop resisting to whatever. Okay, so you can reinforce yourself like that. Meditating is a must. Grounding and staying, it encompasses everything that I said, but staying in the moment. Staying in the moment. Try not to think about the past, because the past is the programming, the old way. It's who you used to be. You are not anymore. Accept that. Okay. Uh, don't think about the future, because you don't really know where you're going. You conform to the process. You are sitting on the boat, and your soul is steering the boat towards the horizon. You don't know where you're going. So don't think about the past. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment and live each and every moment. Live it. Enjoy it. Or don't enjoy it, because life is not all butterflies and unicorns. Okay? So if something is something hurts or something is not very pleasant, still stay in the moment. feel it, experience it, let it go. Okay? Uh, so that's very important. Not to dwell on the past, not to freak out about the future. Stay present all the time. Because when you are in the present moment, that's where you live from soul. That's when you start getting your answers. That is when you start getting your guidance back. Okay? And suddenly you see a light at the end of the tunnel. And you start walking towards the light, and slowly but surely you're gonna get there. And when you're gonna get there, you're gonna get there with an understanding of who you are and what you need to do and why you're here on this planet in the first place. Like, what's your part in this grand scheme of things? Okay, we each of us, we have a part in this, especially now going through the grand ascension. That is why we're going through this collectively. Okay, we used to think that we're going through this alone, but all of a sudden, you see, we pop up everywhere around the world, and all of a sudden, you hear that it's been going on collectively. I can sign on a document that guarantees that you guys, since May last year, your energy changed. You went into the dark night of the soul. Many of you are in the void right now. I'm getting out of it. That was the second one, starting in May. Okay, but that one was a lot about self-worth. Again, self-worth, about getting all our fears, the last batch of shit, that the rest, the leftovers, we let them go now. Okay, uh, so I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about, and this is why I'm doing this. Okay, it's happening to us collectively. It has to do with the grand ascension. Um, we are becoming who we are supposed to be. It's a painful process, but necessary one. Okay. After that, things become better, easier. Again, not guaranteed that it's your last dark night of the soul, but for a while you're okay, and next time you're gonna be smarter about it. You're gonna deal with it better. Okay, my friends. So I'm gonna cross the 1 hour mark in a few minutes. So I'm gonna end it here. Uh, in the future, we're gonna talk about the dark night of the soul some more. Uh, I want to talk about the dark night of the soul uh, in connection to the twin flame journey as well, because when you're on the twin flame journey, you are getting tossed into this so fast that you find yourself in this situation, and it's happening fast for you, and you don't necessarily know what's happening. What the twin flame journey, it will strip you of everything, everything, everything. You hit rock bottom. You hit the 0 point, blank slate. So I want to talk about that as well in the future. We're going to talk about the journey and things like that. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. I love everybody. Thank you for watching this later. Okay, because during this today we didn't have uh, people with us, but hopefully you're gonna watch it in the future. Thank you for being with me, and I will see you next time. Love you all.